and look at it.
What is up? And welcome to the DLF Team Preview Series. Tonight we are talking about the New York Giants, and we've got a great crew here to talk about that. Just to set the show up a little bit so everybody knows what we're doing. A lot of changes over the offseason. If you checked out, that's fine. Don't worry about it. That's what we're here for. We're here to break down everything that happened. We're going to tell you the best moves, the worst moves, whose value is out of control, who's being undervalued right now, all from the New York Football Giants. We invite smart football people on to talk about this. And they just also happen to be New York Giants fans, which I think most of you know. So with that, we are going to get started here. I am so pumped to be doing the show today. Like, obviously, I do. Tyler, we spend 30
hours
a month or something shows. So many. So, but you know what? This is very different. We're not just fielding a bunch of questions and getting answers. Like, we're going to talk about your New York Giants. So, other than spending 4 hours a week with me on Tuesdays, where else can everybody find you and what you're doing?
Me?
Yes, you.
My Twitter. On this YouTube channel where you should be on the YouTube channel. The chat is better on the YouTube channel, Twitter, and I don't know. My Patreon link is there. All my articles are at DLF. You guys know where to find me. You know where to find me.
Very good, Jay. Look, podcast with Upside, which was a lot of fun. I know you guys are taking a step back from that, but I know there's a lot of exciting things that you're working on. Can you give everybody a sneak preview of what you're doing, what you're up to?
Yeah, I could give you a little taste. So, yeah, we, Dan and I, Eagle Dan FF, my co-host, the bane of my existence, but also my brother as well. It's one of those situations where, I can pick on him, but if anybody else does, then we have a problem. But we have stepped back from a pod with Upside. We are now both members of the Front Yard Fantasy team. I have been for a few months. I do a lot of stuff in the background for the fantasy game show. We do have something in the works, not only something live, but also something pre-recorded. So that is the first that has been spoken of on the Twitter machine. So there's a little bit of sneak preview for you. And I also write for Roto Underworld. So find me on Twitter at GMenJ, and that's pretty much it right now.
Breaking news right here on the DLF YouTube channel. And of course, I'm not sure there's even much introduction needed, although I'm not going to call you Steffi. Don't call her that. Call her Stephanie. How are you?
Steph.
No, whatever. Steph, whatever it is. Yeah. I did take the I out of my name. I don't know that I can follow up Jay here. Not that you even finished your introduction for me, but I will go ahead knowing the question because we get asked this every time you go on a show at Stevie Smalls with 3 L's, and I'm already on your timeline. So I'm very excited to talk Giants. Tyler, this is our first time on a show together.
I know. We've been waiting for it for so long. Been waiting for it for so long.
Crazy.
Love it. We got Matt in the chat here, Team Saquon. I know, you guys are definitely. We're gonna definitely talk.
Baquan. His name is Baquan.
Baquan.
Baquan. Okay, got it. I'm there. So
for Saquon, one of the two.
Saquon.
Yeah, either one. Quadzilla. We can keep going all night.
The Giants, they were pretty active this offseason. I guess you take a year like they had last year, and you gotta appreciate the fact that they went ahead and decided they were going to make a bunch of moves. Like the head coach seemed like he had a lot of supporters last season. Jason Garrett, who we can get in and talk about, but
do we have
a lot of wide receivers, and then a really exciting draft for them as well that had some interesting moves. But what was the best move do you think that they made all offseason? Jay, start with you.
I think bringing in Kenny Golladay, whether you like it or not, Gettleman has hitched his wagon to Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones has had some weapons. Obviously, we got Saquon Barkley, but he has lacked that true alpha wide receiver. So I really like bringing him in. I hope they use him in a Plaxico type role. Have Kadarius Toney playing all over the field. You got the deep threat in Darius Slayton. You got Shepard who could play the slot, play outside. I think it completes the team from an offensive perspective. So for me, getting Daniel Jones that alpha wide receiver. There's going to be no more excuses. It's make or break time for Gettleman, for Daniel Jones. We finally got him the guy.
Very good. Tyler, what do you think? Kenny Galladay, or is there another move that you think was the most important?
It's kind of one of the only like really good moves they made. So yeah, Kenny Galladay, I like it. I mean, this is Daniel Jones's last chance, right? I mean, last year was a lot of failure. Last year. We don't want more failure. So if there's another year of failure, it's going to be time for Daniel Jones to take an exit. Time for Dave Gettleman, finally. It's been way too long to be fired. It'll be time for that. And, they'll have to go in a different direction. So, they've given him every opportunity to succeed. And that's it. I mean, if he can't succeed now, there's no more excuses.
Troy,
I got a bunch of people in the chat. Really appreciate it. If you are watching this and you're in the comment section, say hi. It always means a lot if you do. I'll put your comment up here.
Clearly, Robbie does not listen to very many of my shows.
Yeah. Yes, that is. There are going to be T-shirts that say "failure" on it, Robbie.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Literally, sometimes we've had whole sentences of just failure over and over again, all failure.
Taylor follows directions really well. Appreciate that. Steph, what do you think about what move do you think was the best move that the Giants made this offseason?
So I'd love to be different. So I'll just say something other than what these two fabulous people have said. I think two moves that I enjoyed, the secondary could not have possibly gotten stronger as far as the offseason goes. I'm all for it. Just stack the crap out of the depth. I'm in for it. Other than that, I like Rudolph. If he can be healthy and actually contribute the way that I want him to as a fan, I'm very much in it. So I know we have to talk fantasy, but I was trying to do something other than Galladay.
Yeah, no, and that is interesting. There was a lot of moves that that kind of went under the radar. I don't think a lot of people even caught that Kyle Rudolph ended up in New York. And what does that do? Like, Tyler, is there any fantasy implication to him? Is he going to see the field enough to mess anything up for any of the other people, the pass catchers, whether it's Ingram, whether it's Sterling Shepard, anybody like that?
Well, that would imply that Evan Ingram was good in the first place. That would imply that Evan Ingram actually was good. That would be a bold statement to make, that it would be interfering with something that didn't exist. So I'm not sure I would say that. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I like the Rudolph signing, actually. I mean, when it comes to just that you need backup players. What if Evan Ingram has another injury? A lot of injuries, right? I mean, how often is he? It seems like there's an injury every 5 minutes. So, if he gets injured, then you don't have to change your whole offense. You don't have to change the whole offense. You can just kind of, plug in Rudolph and you'll be able to get something out of the receiving tight end position there. So I like it in that respect, but I think he's just a backup. I don't know.
Yep. And then, not everything is sunshine and rainbows. There's also times where there are moves that might leave you scratching your head. What do you think? Steph, we'll start with you on this one. Any head scratching moves this offseason the Giants made?
Something I loathe, and I will probably get a lot of hate for this, is why did we just not pay Gallman? Come on. I just feel like it was just a little unnecessary to not keep him at least another year. He is not making a lot of money. Everyone was saying, we can't afford him. They're not giving him a bag over there either. So just why did you keep the dude? At least say thank you for something, right? There's no reason to have gotten rid of him. I hate that. Just not a fan of that move. Booker is fine, but ew.
I kind of think
ew a good analysis. How do we define analysis? Because I think ew is
that's perfect for this scenario, to be honest with you, because that goes right into mine, because mine was signing Devontae Booker for 2 years, $5.5 million. That is absolutely terrible. When Wayne Gallman got paid $990,000 on a 1-year contract, I would have I'd rather have Gallman for the contract that we gave Booker. But we could have got Gallman for a lot cheaper than we did Booker. Could have maybe spent we could use some help on the offensive line. I don't think it's as bad as everybody says, but it's certainly not good either. So I would have much rather seen them invest some money somewhere else versus spending that much money. $4 million guaranteed, $2 million signing bonus, $2 million guaranteed for a backup running back.
And then they drafted Brightwall. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a
weird.
interesting decision.
Yeah, and feel free to jump in, Tyler. Any comments on those in particular, or maybe a move that for you was a little strange?
I mean, why did they draft Kadarius Toney in the first round?
That's the one I was waiting for.
Listen,
right there.
I got death threats for my reaction video, so careful, dude. Like,
you know what? I have decided there will always be people who are going to be mean. You know, the threats have come in. They've come in. They'll be able to do that. They'll have their forum to do their stupid stuff that they're going to do. But, you know, I don't care. I mean, Kadarius Toney, not worth a first-round pick. I mean, Rashad Bateman was available, right? I mean, could have had Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore. Why? I don't get it. What did Kadarius Toney do in college?
I think my video literally said, "They're okay. Why?" Like, I'm pretty sure that was my exact reaction video. Like, okay, like, cool, but do we, like, right now you're gonna really trade down, make us all very excited, give us draft capital up the booty, and then okay, all right.
I'd be a lot more excited about having Toney on the team if we didn't have the Clapper as offensive coordinator, because his offensive play calling is basically plain white bread with no butter. That's Jason Garrett.
Let's get rid of him.
I'm all for it.
Go.
I volunteer. I volunteer as Jason Garrett.
I wrote Mara a note. I wrote him a letter. I mean, I mailed it today. I wrote Mara a letter out of rage the other day.
on it because we got to make sure it gets there. Honestly, I would rather have a monkey choosing
you will not throw up on my walls again. If you throw up on my
Garrett.
walls again, we're gonna have a problem.
If he anger reverses me one more time, like, I'm being serious. If week 1, if I see like the over on an Ingram reverse is over 1, I literally have to be a fan of another team. Like, I quite literally can't handle it. I cannot do that again. I can't handle his play call. It's like 3rd and 6, and this dude is like, let's do the worst play ever. Like, I think that's actually in the playbook, worst play ever.
Jay, you were saying something there. What were you saying?
I would rather have a monkey choosing the Madden suggested plays versus Jason Garrett calling the offense. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
Somebody please flip that.
It can't be worse. It would definitely be better.
Yeah, we need somebody to clip that. That was amazing. Well, okay, so yes, it was head scratching, but at least you traded back, right? Does it help that you picked up a first round pick? Like, at least you didn't take him at, what was the original pick? Like 12? 11? Yeah. At least it wasn't that pick that it took Toney.
I love trading back, and I don't mind Toney on the team. I think from a real football perspective, I think it makes sense, you know, but
yes,
like we've all said, Jason Garrett calling the plays, unless he miraculously becomes, you know, more creative, he's not going to use them the way that he needs to be used in a Laviska Shenault in a Curtis Samuel type role to be effective. So it's all on Jason Garrett, and maybe hopefully Joe Judge just either takes over the play calling or puts somebody in there that's going to be creative, or, you know, has that monkey on speed dial to figure out something.
I think what's in our favor at least is, you know, I have never, you know, we don't, so I'm almost 28, but you start actually understanding football, let's say 7, right? So
Make me
in
feel old,
over
Stephanie.
years of my life, I have never seen a team hire so many babysitters for one coach in an off season. Like, they literally must have brought on 30 coaches just to hold this dude's hand. And I think every single time, going back to Toney, so we don't get too off topic, is like fantasy purposes, every single time that they add another skill player, the fantasy value sucks, right? Like, this is not a team to target unless you're in on Daniel Jones and Saquon. Otherwise, please get out of my face.
Does it complicate things? Maybe complicate is not the right word, but is part of the frustration the fact that I think a lot of people expected Sterling Shepard to get cut this offseason, and then maybe some of these moves make some sense. Without that, it seems very crowded. Like there's a lot of people when you start looking at who's going to line up where. Trying to get everybody on the field's tough.
Well, how are they going to cut Sterling Shepard? How are they going to do that?
Cal doesn't know how much I love Sterling Shepard. I'm
No, I
trying
do.
to hold it
How
together.
are they going to do that? How are they going to do that?
No, I do.
I'll sit back and.
Well, but how are they going to do that? Because his dead cap is underwater. His contract is underwater. How are they going to cut him? How are they going to do that?
Coming off a career high year. Leave the man alone. He's not a wide receiver 1. That's a problem. This is what everyone's issue is. Slayton is a wide receiver 3 unless he goes to another team. That is his role on the Giants. Shepard is a wide receiver 2. Stop treating him like a wide receiver 1. He can't handle it. That's not his thing. But he did the best out of it. He's like 75% completion rate compared to what? Slayton's 52.1% completion rate. Give Shep a break, I think. I think he's, I'm watching him go in all these drafts. Slayton's going before him. I think Slayton gets written out of this playbook with all these moves.
See, you guys took that the total opposite way of what I meant. What I meant was, why add Tony? Why add Galladay? Why add, Rudolph, which, he lines up inside, pushing Ingram, out more like this. If you have Shepard and you are underwater and you're committed to him, why are you investing that much? It's not like this is a team that didn't have holes elsewhere.
Dave Gettleman.
Your offensive coordinator is a monkey, and Rudolph is a red zone threat.
The general manager needed to be fired a long time ago. That's what they need.
Mara needs to not own the team too. Like, please go away.
I want to say, Steffi, what you said was you hit the nail on the head. People think of football so much from a fantasy perspective. Sterling Shepard is a fantastic football player. He's an average fantasy football player. If you need 7 to 10 points, he's your guy. But if you're looking for that upside, you're looking for that wide receiver 1, which we're all looking for in fantasy, you don't want Sterling Shepard. You don't want Slayton. Slayton's a poor man, Deshaun Jackson. Like you said, it's this team is built from the hog mollies, the old school football that Dave Gettleman wants to be. It's not conductive to fantasy. So
they haven't had a wide receiver 1 since OBJ, period. That's it. Ingram was wide receiver 1. That was his expectation, and he sucks. So that didn't work, right?
So with that, let's talk. Steph, I'll ask you, who isn't getting enough respect, and why is it Sterling Shepard?
Why does everyone love Slayton? Slayton was really bad last year. He did really, not kind of bad, not bad. He was really bad. He actually hurt my feelings. I have no interest in Slayton. I think he should go to another team. I love that. I hate that I like him as a locker room guy. And the Giants love culture, right? That's our problem. That's why we're not going to get rid of Ingram. That's why Slayton is stuck on the team. We're not getting rid of those guys because it's culture. Oh, it's culture. You also lost the team 11 points, and you had a 52.1% completion rate, and you sucked. So that's why I don't understand why Slayton is going before Shepard. Because I think that Shepard gets the short stick on this when Slayton is just a wide receiver 3. It is what it is. That's who you are, sir.
Tyler, what do you think? Who on the Giants is not getting enough respect from fantasy analysts? Maybe it's in drafts.
Not getting enough respect. Oh, I mean,
do they deserve respect though?
Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is not getting enough respect. I mean, look, I'm of the opinion, unfortunately, I'm sorry, that both Shepard and Slayton they both suck. They're both irrelevant. Mm-hmm. They both suck. These are players that if you're relying on them to do anything useful, you've already failed.
Yeah.
So, and Ingram I would include in there as well. So there's a lot of failure. So I don't want any of those failures.
You get an F.
Well, they all get an F. I mean, they all do get an F because they weren't very good. I mean, Ingram was the worst of the 3. But Saquon Barkley is not getting enough respect. He should be getting more respect. I mean, he's very good. He's one of the most talented running backs in the league. And now everyone just thinks that, oh no, injury. Okay, we don't want him anymore. I mean, but they don't pay attention to the fact in 2019, after he came back from his high ankle sprain, did the Giants ease him in? Did they ease him into a few carries at a time? No. They returned him to his immediate workload right away. So I don't buy the idea that they're just going to split the workload. If they were really going to do that, they would have brought in someone better than Devontae Booker, who's, 5 years of failure. I don't like him. And then Gary Brightwell, 6th-round pick. It's nothing. He was terrible in college. So, yeah. Saquon Barkley.
Well, they did it for me because I went to U of A. It was like me and
what did that
gentleman talk about it.
I just don't know why they drafted him. There were other running backs in that range who were available, who were much better, way better.
Yeah.
Steph, any comments about this injury-prone comment from Ed here?
Yes. So injury prone is Todd Gurley. So that should be your standard for injury prone. Saquon, who came back in record timing from a high ankle sprain because he was getting abused by the Giants because we're literally a trash team. They're not a good team, right? Let's be serious. Since Saquon has entered, he has been able to break records, do everything he's been able to do, but then got abused by them. And that's how you get hurt. Look at CMC. How you hurt is when relying only one player. So Saquon is not injury prone. I'm telling you, I am betting. I won't bet entirely on, but you are too young. You never saw Adrian Peterson come back from his injury if you're going to talk about Saquon that way, because I put them in the same conversation. And my stat, I'll drop it really quick, is Dale Jones said 26 game starts. Only 11 of them have been with Saquon Barkley. So you guys have not seen anything. So just shut up.
Mr. Squirrel, I've seen you run. You haven't come back from your torn ACL. You're still slow. You're still slow, Tobin. You're still slow.
Ed clarifies that it was sarcasm. I think that came through in the way
That's one of my friends, if you can't tell. So-called friends.
Yeah.
Let's get back to that. Who wants to puke on my wall?
I'm worried about this.
This is the kind of friend that I have. He did it once already. He did it once already.
We're in Avengers here because he went over the line.
I'll give him
past the Avenger line.
Yeah, we've Troy, don't act like it's the weirdest thing you've been involved in, okay? Like we know you, Troy.
Tomorrow's Furry
like
Friday for
furry
Troy. We all
stuff.
know. So.
Yes.
Yeah, Furry Friday is tomorrow, Troy. Come on now.
He's 40-yard dash. He would get his ass kicked. He can't.
Tyler,
I'm like 5 inches taller, and I weigh
I've
50
totally
pounds.
lost the thread here. Who is up on who doesn't get enough respect? Jay, did you answer this?
I have not yet.
That's what
we got talking about furries and throwing up on walls.
That's what he's
and stuff
saying.
like this, and it's what do you expect when Troy's in the chat? But I'm gonna say, and Steffi's been saying this a lot in the offseason. I completely agree. I think Kyle Rudolph. I think that Jason Garrett wants him to be his version of Jason Witten. He's going to get usage in the red zone. And I think he's free. So he's not going to cost you anything. You get him you pick him up. You probably could pick him off of waiver wires, but you can get him in the last round of drafts. And you know what? Take a shot. Like we talked about, Evan Ingram, 1, he sucks. 2, he sucks. And 3, he can't stay healthy. So you've got all that going for you. If he gets injured, I think that they signed Kyle Rudolph because they knew that this was going to be Ingram's last year on the team. He's free. If that's a lottery ticket that I'm willing to scratch, you don't need a whole lot to have a usable tight end in fantasy. I say this all the time. 3 catches, 30 yards, you're already a borderline tight end 1 for the week. So if he gets a touchdown catch or 2, which I think he's going to get some usage in the red zone, I think he's going to be very useful in fantasy.
Can I tell you guys a secret?
Yes.
I'll tell you guys a secret. Okay. This is just between all of us. It's public information, but it's fine. Ingram had 112 targets with 1 receiving touchdown. You want to know how many Kyle Rudolph had last year with the same amount of touchdowns? I'll let you know, and I'm going to confirm to be sure that I'm right. It's 37. Are you kidding me? Ingram is pathetic. He's a disgrace to the game of football. That is the bottom line. But Rudolph, I think
we're not telling people to draft Kyle Rudolph, right?
No,
we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want more players on the Giants. You don't want extra, more. You don't want that.
Right.
Yeah.
And like in redraft, like, if one of your tight ends goes down and Rudolph is I'm not saying draft him, but, on waivers, be aware that he's very much free. So if you're totally in a screwed situation, I'm telling you, he's going to be there.
He'll definitely be there. Yeah.
He's going to be there.
You don't need to draft more weapons from this receiving game. Stick to the quarterback.
Don't draft the Giants ever.
Well, no, you could draft the quarterback though. You could draft the quarterback. You could draft Daniel Jones because
talk about him.
Provides rushing upside. He provides rushing upside.
I was expecting him to come up here with this who isn't getting enough respect, but none of you guys mentioned him. Do you think that there's just others that aren't getting more respect, or? No. Jay, you sound.
I had two guys lined up, and I was expecting somebody else to say Daniel Jones, so that's why I said that. Nobody expects Daniel Jones to be the conversation with the Lamar Jacksons and Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen's, those guys. But Daniel Jones is fast. He, everybody talks about Konami code QBs. He can run the ball. He tied Lamar Jackson for the most runs over 20 miles per hour. With 4 last year. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that that he is as good of a runner as Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray. I'm just making a point that he is fast. He was faster than Lamar Jackson. His top speed of 21 miles per hour last year was faster than Lamar Jackson. He's top 10 in QB rushing each of the past 2 years. He had almost 400 rushing yards last year. If he just makes an incremental upgrade in his passing volume, which adding Kenny Golladay, that should be the case. I think that he can be a value when it comes to Superflex leagues. He's somebody who I love to have as my QB3 in Superflex. I think he can have some QB1 weeks, wind up being a mid to high end QB2.
Well, where do you rank him then? Where do you rank him in Superflex rankings?
I don't do rankings, so.
Okay, well, I can tell you where I rank him then. I rank him at quarterback. It's Superflex Dynasty, quarterback 22.
Oh, I'm a little higher than you, not much though.
So give some context for that. Who's like the two in front of him and the two behind him?
Two in front are Kirk Cousins and Mac Jones.
Okay, that's Dynasty rankings, right?
Yes. Two behind are Carson Failure and Sam Darnold.
Carson Failure is the coolest name ever. Yes.
Have you ever heard me say it?
No.
You never heard me say it? Oh my God! I say it all the time. Carson Failure.
I'm getting a shirt that says that. I'm literally going to make a shirt after this, and it's going to say Carson Failure. I'm so happy that you just said it. Wow.
We do have Carson Failure. We have Drew Disaster. We have Timid. Now we have Timid Teddy. And I had one for Sam Darnold, but I think I could get in trouble. For that nickname.
Yeah, it's Avengers. Remember,
Carson Wentz. Oh, this is good.
How about this one,
Carson Wentz? This is a good alternative. Carson Wentz.
That's pretty good.
That is. I will say that is pretty good.
I'm just going to throw this out here. I don't think Bo is a fan of
He's
Daniel
not a
Jones.
fan of Daniel Jones. And
I don't take when it comes to the Giants, I don't take anything Bo says seriously because he is the biggest Giants hate. I respect Bo's opinion on just about everything other than the Giants.
But ask Bo. Go ahead, Bo. Answer. Where is Zeke ranked in your rankings, and where is Saquon? This is the only thing I have on Bo, and I want you to tell the crowd.
I'll give him credit.
I can tell you where I have Zeke ranked and where I have Saquon ranked. Do we want to hear about that? That could be interesting. I mean, in Dynasty, I have Saquon RB3. I have him RB3. I have CMC and Taylor ahead, and that's it. And I think and that's the consensus. That's the DLF ADP right now. That's what the DLF ADP has as well. So I'm right in line.
It's crazy. This guy is dropping though. I saw him go in. Someone sent me a screenshot. 3rd round of a dynasty startup. Are you guys seriously?
3rd round in what? How could he be 3rd round in what format?
Exactly.
Even in a super flex, you're still looking back of the first. I like to take 7 quarterbacks. Top super flex. I want a quarterback, but
Yeah.
still looking back over the first.
And I fade quarterbacks, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't fade quarterbacks. I would never tell anyone to do that. That's danger.
Horrid
danger.
things, and then I know. Well, I also look at my Twitter, right? It's very awkward.
Is there anybody on the Giants who has a hype train right now? Like, is there anybody who fits that category at all?
No.
Ingram is why
train,
is
though.
everyone so in though? Like,
But nobody did.
No. Okay. Well, Twitter needs to chill out. Is all.
I think
everyone is
but see, that's the
very
thing, though.
in on him.
I think that you might be getting Giants Twitter because fantasy.
Fantasy.
You sure? Because like the fantasy Twitter I'm getting is all like Evan Ingram is horrible. I'm never drafting him again. Never drafting him again. Never again. Never again.
That's pretty much what I see.
That's what I'm saying.
Cross-reference following because I'm telling you, people are like,
let's put up some tweets about positive Evan Ingram because that I didn't see any positive Evan Ingram. I feel like I'm more positive on Evan Ingram than the average Twitter person. I mean, for this year, to give you an idea, for this year, I rank Evan Ingram in redraft tight end 10.
That's fair. He's I think I have him at 4 in redraft. Maybe it's 3rd, 4th. I think you're taking the pressure off of him because he's a baby. He needs, we need to coddle him. He doesn't like pressure everyone. He can't be wide receiver 1. He can't be RB1 and tight end 1. He also can't be expected to block. He can only focus on literally one thing. So pick it. I think he's going to be the guy that is just gaining short yards. I think that the pressure comes down. So yes, does he play better next year? Absolutely. It's because he's not given as much opportunity to fudge up. Look at that. See, I told you.
I love it.
Wow.
So he's not going to be given as much opportunity to make a mistake. Yeah, he'll do better. There's a lot of other people on that team. That's why I'm only in on Daniel Jones and Saquon. I need more out of Garrett.
But to give an idea, like I have Ingram at tight end 10 and Dallas Goedert at tight end 8. But I feel like Evan Ingram is closer to Jared Cook, who I have at tight end 21. Than he is to Dallas Goedert at tight end 8. Like it goes Goddard at 8, Logan Thomas at 9, and then like a massive cliff to Ingram at 10. Like I have obviously tiered rankings, but I would really put 2 tiers really there because Ingram is the first of the just maybe. And the only reason I have him higher is it's not a lot of pro Ingram. It's a lot of the other guys he's competing with. I have my own complaints about the Patriots tight ends, the Tua Gesicki problem, the Irv Smith comments, the Tua problem, the lack of Aaron Rodgers for Robert Tonyan. So they all have big issues.
So let me ask you this. This is totally impromptu. None of this is on your show sheet that Tyler didn't read anyway.
The show sheet I didn't read anyway.
I got the show sheet.
There was a show sheet?
Yeah.
I didn't read that.
What about we're talking about Ingram, we're talking about some of these targets. Top 3, who are the top 3 most targeted weapons on this team next year? If you had to say who are the top 3, who would that be? Who's number 1? Who finished
next year? You mean this upcoming season?
Look at us. This is so bad. 3 Giants fans. Do you know how quiet? I'm gonna clip this. How quiet the 3 of us just got is. That's your answer, right?
The deer in the headlight look for every single one of us.
We have literally no idea. Yeah. Thank you, Jason Garrett, for ruining my entire life.
To me, this is like one of those funnel offenses. It funnels to Saquon, it funnels to Galladay. You don't care about anyone else.
Yeah, I think
that's. What do you mean I can't read? What is this now? Now I can't read either? Can't read? Okay. I see how it is. I challenge you to that 40-yard dash. Let's go. You won't win.
I'm going to push you a little bit and make you guys come up with the top 3.
Is this necessary?
Yes. Jay, top 3 targets on this team.
Wow.
We know who the top 2
so
are.
Bad. This is why you don't draft Giants. Other than Jones and Saquon, please do not draft them.
It's bad, yeah.
Kind of hammering home.
So Galladay and Galladay's going to be the top. Then it's going to be Barkley.
But
then I'm gonna go Shep.
Rudolph.
I think I'm gonna go Shep. I thought about going Rudolph, but
What between the two?
if I knew that Ingram was going to be hurt or out for a significant time, then yeah. But Ingram still being in there, I'm going to go Shepard. I think that having Galladay is going to take some of the coverage off him, some of the pressure. Having a healthy Saquon Barkley, he's not going to have to be the focal point of this offense, and they'll be able to use him the way that he's supposed to be used. So,
any arguments there? Steph, Tyler, no.
I mean, no. If you go back to 2018, I mean, in 2018, Odell led the Giants in targets. Saquon was second with 121 in 16 games, and then Shepard had 107 in 16 games. I mean, Ingram only had 64 in 11 games. So, he was the fourth target behind the other two, and then, now we have Galladay instead of Beckham. So,
finally,
to me,
a wide receiver one? What? I've never heard of such
I really do think it's possible, though, that you only have two players with 70 targets or more, and it's Galladay and Barkley, and that everyone else. I mean, you have offenses where you just have two players with a bunch of targets, and then everyone else a big nothing. Like, you could have a split. I mean, what about when Tony gets in there? Tony's going to take some time from both Shepard and Slayton. Because Tony can play both in the slot and he can play like the Slayton style, like field stretcher role. So I think he's going to take equal time from both. And I just don't think you're going to want any of these players. They're all going to be low. But if I have to pick one, it would be Shepard, who funny though, because like in my wide receiver rankings, I think I actually ranked, oh, that's crazy. I ranked Tony first, only because if I'm going to draft one, I'd rather take what I haven't seen. That's a very much a me principle when I'm doing drafts, especially in redraft. Take what you haven't seen. I know what I'm going to get from Slayton. I know what I'm going to get from Shepard. It's not very good. So I'd rather, maybe Tony will break out week one. You never know. It could happen. If he doesn't, you just cut him and move on to another team.
I just want to shout out the fact that Giants fans know that, like, any Giants fan that plays fantasy is the only people that understand that Slayton is just not good for this offense. Like, these are the only people I know that continuously will not draft Slayton over Shepard. And I think a lot of it, with the Giants, you kind of have to, like, be so messed up with PTSD from Gettleman and Garrett and Judd and whatever you want to consider to know when you can play guys. I don't think that like a standard fantasy player should just be drafting these guys.
And then, I have Tony at wide receiver 67, Shepard at wide receiver at 70, and Slayton
so
at
finished what? Wide receiver 44 though last year. Like he didn't do Galladay. Horrible.
That was without Galladay, though.
That's true. Oh, of course. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you're not this wide receiver. And there's Ross.
There's also the return of Barkley. The return of Barkley, I think, is going to take a lot of the short area stuff away.
Please, just give the ball to Barkley and just don't let him
get that's what I would say. Smart coaching would say to give the ball to Barkley more. So, yeah, that's why I'm not really high on these other Giants receivers. But to give an idea, I have Kenny Galladay as wide receiver 17. So that shows you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're going to have a real alpha here.
As we mentioned him, that's certainly the thing I think most fantasy owners are paying the most attention to on this team as far as rumors. That's when he's coming back. Steph, I know you certainly look a lot into that. When do you think in week one, number one, I guess, do you expect him to play? I think most people do, but do you think he's going to be limited if he does?
Yeah, so you have to define limited. Also, I think I don't know why Saquon's injury is getting as much hate, and I don't know what it is about him. For some reason, every other ACL injury we don't care about. When it comes to Saquon, it's like, fade him. He stinks. Like, he was never good. No,
2 years of injury. That's why.
Right. But he still played 13 games the year before. And look at the guards and what he did. Yeah. They're crazy.
That's why they're frustrated. That's why they're frustrated.
Yeah, and I get from a fantasy perspective why, but he will play week one, absolutely. Will he be limited? Sure. We see it every year, right? People come back from injuries, they're limited. Define limited for Saquon Barkley. So for me, it's still going to be volume. He still should be just fine as far as fantasy goes, but I think 3, week 4, that's when you see him really starting to be a part of the playbook. So he is, yeah, absolutely cool. Like in Scott Fishbowl, for example, draft Saquon because by week 4, he's going to be back to Saquon without a doubt. There's no reason. So if they ease him in, cool. I hope they do. Please hold the longevity of this guy. This is all we have. Like, I don't want to start crying. Like, that is our team. Please do not hurt him again. I swear, I will literally cry right now. Do not hurt him again. But he should be fine. You know, he's going to play week 1. I predicted he would. Adrian Peterson did. I think he finished his recovery in like a little bit before 10 months. And I think with Saquon, I predict him to be back to full pace by July 30th. So there's no reason that this guy is not playing at full potential.
Where do you rank? Does anyone else other than me do redraft rankings for running backs?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have Saquon RB4 in redraft.
That's where I have him too.
Do you have the same 3 ahead? McCaffrey, Cook, Henry. That's what I have. McCaffrey, Cook, Henry, Barkley.
I do have Taylor in there. So
Taylor ahead of. Yeah, I just feel that the reason I have Taylor ahead of Barkley in Dynasty is just the 2 years of age, really. I have Taylor in redraft at 6. Taylor at 6, behind Kamara at 5.
So I bet ours are like literally 1 player off.
Yeah, it's a very, very minimal difference. And also with the Scott Fishbowl, it's only half PPR, so then Henry's even more appealing versus Barkley.
Right.
Because the fact he doesn't catch doesn't matter as much.
I mentioned Saquon being quote unquote limited to start, and define that. So he played 87% of the snaps in week 1 last year. Does he get up to that number again this year? And if he does, when?
But we talked about this. We talked about what they did. I talked about it when he came back from his high ankle sprain in 2019. They didn't come back. He didn't come back a limited role. He came back to his full role immediately once he played in the lineup. So I personally think that he's going to come back to his his regular role. I think it's going to be what it was before. That's what I think. Maybe he's not going to be 100% effective, but I think he's going to come back to his snap share. That's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. I want to hear what Jason thinks.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's going to be close to it. I don't think he's going to be quite his full workload. And the reason is because they gave Devontae Booker that much money. I think that they did that because they knew that the plan was going to be to ease him in. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be he's only going to get, half of his normal work or less than that. And like you said, Steffi, it's Saquon Barkley. He doesn't need the full workload to be the potential RB1 in all of fantasy football. I do think it's going to take, the first quarter of the season for him to get back up to speed with the full workload. I think it's going to offer a good buying opportunity in both dynasty and redraft if Barkley isn't the Barkley that everybody is expecting. Because by the middle of the season, by the end of the season, as long as he stays healthy, I don't care how bad the offensive line is. Saquon Barkley, generational talent gets thrown around so much. He is an actual generational talent. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Giants fan. I mean, even Bo, who hates everything that the Giants stand for, admits how good Saquon Barkley is. So if he does start off slow, I think it's going to be a good buying opportunity.
Absolutely.
Bo is a big believer in Saquon, apparently, but not.
I got him at the 201 in Scott Fish, and I was ecstatic.
Guess the latest I got him in a dynasty startup. Please, I dare you guys to guess. I will not guess it. Please, try.
Superflex?
I got him at 210. Are you guys kidding me?
Wow.
With that, you're giving away a guy just because he's hurt. I mean that ACL injury. What do we live in? 300 BC? Are you guys crazy? This is modern medicine. Okay, modern medicine. Do you hear what I'm saying? Look at all the guys who've had ACL injuries. Tom Brady. What did Tom Brady do last year? I get it. Running back is a different position. Fine. That's okay. But you can come back from an ACL injury, and medicine only gets better every single year.
Matty Daddy, wondering if you should take Ingram. It depends on which one of these people up here you want to listen to here, Matty. I think everybody does. Everybody think in the 13th he's a good value, though? I think so.
Especially tight end premium, absolutely.
Yeah. Tyler?
Yeah. I don't hate him. I just please do not like reach for Ingram.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the highest on him.
The only other rumor, really, I think there, and I'll say not even a rumor, but the thing I'm paying attention to news reports on is how much Kadarius Toney is going to be used in the offense, because he is, they're talking about him as a gadget player, which I'm a little, I don't know, like I would like to see him run as a traditional wide receiver. He's more physical than people think. Like, I actually really liked what I saw out of him. He's going to be I can't remember if it was Jay or who said it, but probably a better football player than fantasy player. So I don't know. Have you guys heard anything about how he's going to be used, or what kind of usage the amazing Jason Garrett plans on using?
I think you might be literally the only person to ever say amazing and Jason Garrett in the same sentence. Like that. That's history in the making. That just
threw up
happened.
in my mouth. Oh my God.
All right. Now, Giants last season. I don't know what the record was. What is it going to be this season?
Don't worry,
Tyler?
we didn't forget.
Mm-hmm.
What's their record, Tyler?
Oh, I don't think it's going to be very good.
Okay, but what?
7-10.
Come on, one more
7-10.
game, Tyler.
I don't think it's going to be better.
Okay,
I think we're going to see Daniel Jones maybe get replaced.
one more game. No,
I don't think it's
I
that much
would
better.
literally not be a fan of this. If they listen, I thought we were going to win 5 games last season. We won 6. I'm calling 8 this season because that's literally all my heart can take. If they do not win 8 games, like, they need to clean house.
They got to get this coaching staff, this general manager out of here.
Get everyone
like
out.
Joe Judge.
Send Ingram to the moon.
I do like Joe Judge.
I do too.
Well, Jason Garrett is a problem.
Yes, I completely agree. We get
That's
that
why
monkey
it's
on the
7-10.
sideline.
Garrett.
He's like fungus. He's just something not delightful. And anything about him is disgusting. He is a horrible OC. I actually think he's a better head coach than he is. He's just a bad offensive coordinator, period. He has no creativity unless you play Dallas and it's quarter 1 and quarter 2. And then you suddenly see Jason Garrett with a brain. And then all of a sudden it's like he totally forgets who he is. He does not realize you have to play 4 quarters, like, at all. Somehow, I don't know how long has this dude literally been coaching?
It's been a long time. It's been many years.
I'm hoping they hired all these babysitters to fire him halfway through the season, because Mara definitely hired Colombo and Garrett as a combo deal. And my hope is, if my franchise is not completely moronic the way that they have acted lately, that's because they're preparing to get rid of him halfway through if they need to.
Dan, I'm leaving this one up so you can just do like a little, clip. Then you can send to Dan. 2 guaranteed wins against the Eagles right here.
Ryan may be working his way back into our good graces.
I love that. Absolutely.
Ryan!
Jay, did you say how many wins you think we're going to have?
I did not. I think they're going to be around that 8-9, 9-8, just depending on how things click. The one thing that the Giants do have going for them is they got a good defense. They were top 10 last year, spent some draft capital on the defense. I think that it all comes down to the offense. And if Daniel Jones is able to make any sort of progression, if Barkley can stay healthy, if Golladay is what we want him to be. So I think we're going to be battling for a wild card spot.
Very good. Well, I appreciate all of you and your insight on the New York Giants, and everybody in the chat room. Honestly, just cracking up at a lot of these comments and questions in here. So, look, one last time. I mean, Steph, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, and what's the next show you're doing that everybody can tune in and support you on.
Sure. This is my last Giants thing, and then I'll go to myself. But Daniel Jones is the best deep ball passer in the league. Okay, so you guys can find me at Steffi Smalls with 3 L's. The 3 L's stand for all of Brady's losses, 2 from the Giants, 1 from Nick Foles. Very important to add on here since we're talking about the New York Giants. I just finished recording actually with a New York Giants player for Off Topic for my first episode. Very excited. I will say, so Lawrence Tynes, which is very exciting because as everyone knows, that is how we went to the Super Bowl. I give him a lot of credit. He gave us great years, right?
He did very much so.
So that's coming out. He's awesome. Small Talk is out, whatever. Everything is on, the Twitter machine, like Jay likes to call it.
Jay, you want to give us any more hints on what you're going to do?
No. Sorry, I may have said too much, but yeah, we just keep an eye out at Front Yard Fantasy. It's Front Yard FYF on Twitter. You can find me at GMenJ. I will be on with our good friend Rumboys Robbie tomorrow night on Rumboys After Dark, 9:00. Make sure you subscribe to the Rumboys Fantasy Network. They're good guys over there. Be on with them tomorrow night, and then just keep an eye out for what Dan and I have up our sleeve.
Tyler?
I mean, I could do a better job than I did earlier, where I didn't introduce myself, promote myself, or talk about anything that I was doing. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter.
You're doing too much. That's why you're everywhere, and we love it.
I know. You can follow me on Twitter over there. The people know. They know where to find me. They listen to this show enough. And yeah, they watch for my Twitter takes on the Giants that may come during the year if I get frustrated. Do we live stream that? I mean, I don't know if you want that on the internet, man. You're getting smoked on the internet. Promise to stop asking dumb questions if he wins. Oh, no, please keep asking them. That gives us interaction during the chat. I love it. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to say. I don't think I have any articles coming out, right? Well, I do actually.
You do.
I do, but there's many of them. I did not get the Giant Summer Sleeper article though. That is being written by Eric Flynn, not me. So you'll have to see what Eric writes about the Giants. You'll see that in the next couple of weeks.
Eric is great. Certainly appreciate him. Appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Thanks for having us.
For all these guys, for DLF, make sure you're following at DLF Football on Twitter and subscribe to this channel. Click the notifications and hit the like button. It really does help. But leave a comment. Tell us what you thought. Tell us who you're, who are those questions that were put up. What's your answer to that? Go ahead and put that. That helps us out a lot if you would do that. Thank you guys, and we will see